Hello, this is Gameli, RevitTools.com. Let's continue with Revit MEP 2010. Now let's open this zoning subdivision, zoning, and let's open level 2. And that's the one I have open. And now let's go to the Analyze System Browser. And right here, so on top of the word zones, not the default, on top of the word zones, view all disciplines, and make sure it's showing all disciplines like mine. And let's extend this plus sign, and you will see right here all these different symbols for each room, actually for each zone. Some are red, some are green. Right click and see the properties. And the reason is if it's occupied or unoccupied. Right now I'm on the stair, which is red, and it's unchecked the occupiable. So now it will be occupied and it will be green, and now I will put it back unoccupied. And it goes back to red. And that's the reason of that color. So in other words, this is a good browser to review what we've been working on. And if you find something that should be shown occupied, you could revise right here. Like this cafeteria, it should be occupied. So properties and cafeteria occupied. And I'm gonna close the browser to show something. Actually, I don't need to close it. One way to do the same thing is if I'm gonna zoom in one of this space. If I highlight it, and when it's highlighted like that one, and I look the properties, it should be right here too. It's the same window, occupiable. And say OK. So each space could be selected, the occupied or unoccupied, in those two different manners. Okay, so that is playing this browser. So let's do some zones. That is the next step. So I will open different file to do zoning. Okay, so now in MEP, after you create spaces which will be very similar than rooms in the architectural Revit, now you create zones like an air conditional zone. That means you put together maybe 3 or 4 spaces into one zone. So let's go. We are going to put together a room, I should say a space 222, 221 and 220. So let's look for those. Those spaces are here. So 221, 220, and this should be 222. It just has the number is not accurate with the tutorial, and I'm sure should be right here. 228. Okay, so that's fine. 20, 21, and let's see, 222. Oh, so I need to put together these three, this, and this, into one zone. So zone, and I have to say which one, 2, and 3, and finish zone. Apparently nothing happened, and the reason is because the zones are being turned off. First of all, let's make sure I'm in the zoning floor plan, which is fine, is this, and right click here or right click on a blank area right here and seek for this properties button, or if you don't select anything and you type VG, the point is to get to this window, and like I say, it's the same as right click, properties, and this VG, visibility graphics. So I got to the same window. Let's look for the Z for zones. I could remove this button because it gives me a lot of more names right here, because it includes architectural and structural, and right now I don't need those because I need it only when I want to see listed here like windows, doors, and other elements that doesn't belong to MEP. But right now, to make it easier my life, I turn it off, and right here is zones. It's on HVAC zones, and you see it's turned off. Now it's on, and it has the fill-in and the color field, the interior field, and the reference line. So say OK, say OK. Now it will show. Now you see it's different gray, and also has this line which is the mark, and that mark is this. If I shouldn't. I didn't mean to highlight that. I should highlight just the plan view and go to visibility graphics and HVAC zone. So that crossing line was this reference line. If I turn it off, it will go away. I need it, so I leave it on. And I leave it on. So I'm talking about this black line. Okay, so I don't have the green mechanical engineering. I have the green architecture, so the engineer has better way to decide how to create these zones. So it's depending on the equipment it's gonna use for the air conditioning. But we just need to put together few spaces into zones. Sometimes the spaces are in the same level. Sometimes maybe one space is in one level and the other space is in the other level. Let's say for whatever reason we decide to combine this level and this level into one zone. Look on section, you could select one, I had to hit zone and edit zone and add one more. So I'm adding from 2 different levels and finish. Right now it's not visible here, maybe it's off, so let's turn it on. VG, or go to properties, visibility graphics, HVAC zones, and look, it's turned off this. Now it's on. Now I should see it. So that's my zone, HVAC zone, and the other cross is my space. If I hit properties, this is space. So they are overlapping, obviously, because a zone has to grab more than one space. And as you see in edit zone, you could add or remove more spaces. And finish zone. Okay. So in just a review, you could do zones by floor plan, or in a section if you have to combine two levels. I could do another zone right here, zone, and I want, let's say 1, 2, 3, and say finish. So I have another zone right there. And zones has name too. So if I touch the mark which is the zone, and on edit properties, this is the name. I could rename those zones. And let's see. So we need to find a logical name. Let's say this is north part of this, and maybe it's level 2. So level 2 north, and let's say area B. So that will identify by somehow a logical way to do it, or you could put level 2 north is just for your own benefit. Now let's put a tag to a zone. So in annotate, tag by category, and I could choose my zone. Now you have options here, horizontal or vertical with leader, and if you want it attach or detach, like free. If I don't attach it, it's free, and you could do this. And let me escape. I could change this. Normally I use a dot here, so this is the type I'm using, zone tag. And if I click on properties and edit type, I could choose right here to have these options: arrow, that's the head. So you could choose. There is with no head to it. Okay, and also could be just this is free end, but it could be the other, like this. When you place it right here, annotate and choose this attach, so it will be attached. And all those need to be renamed, obviously. I didn't rename it. Now let's clarify. You see this tag still is saying is not computed, and it's because right now the heating and cooling loads calculation have not been performed. So later on during other exercise it will. Okay, so RevitTunes.com. Let's watch the next.